Hello, 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 hello. It's Wednesday afternoon, and we are back for another episode of Wellness Wednesdays. I've just been in back to back meetings all day, so I'm finally here, and we're gonna talk about getting healthy. So, January is the month about getting really, really healthy. And often, when we talk about health, right, weight or body fat comes into a big picture. So, today we are going to talk about something known as skinny fat, which is totally a crazy term to use in itself, right? So, that's what we're going to talk about and why it is a reality, why it can be a reality, and how we can be really healthy this year, how we can really be accountable for our health and identify certain factors that are working against our health. So, that's what we're going to talk about. So, for those who are new to this, my name is Dr. Manjari Nadkarni. I'm an Ayurvedic MD. I'm also a holistic nutritionist. And I show up on Facebook as well as Instagram to talk about health related topics so I can really educate people and really make like support a change, support them to be their healthiest best, right? So in the last video we have been talking about BMI and BMR. So we've talked about certain measurements or certain parameters of health or certain parameters of weight and obesity. So body mass index is something we had talked about in the last session, and in that video I also explained that body mass index, it is a measure which is your body mass is divided by the square of your height. So it's a rough measurement which can categorize you into overweight or obese or normal, right? But for certain people who have excess amounts of muscle on the body, they are going to be higher on the BMI, right? They're not really obese, but if you look at athletes or into bodybuilding, they're going to be higher on that BMI scale. And then that is one place where the BMI goes wrong. And the other place where BMI can go wrong is a thing known as skinny fat. So, a skinny fat is a person who is going to be normal on the BMI scale, the body mass index scale, but they are actually going to have a lot more body fat in the body, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to say a quick hi to all those who are here live. So Health Onwards is live here. Hello. Hi, Radhika. Vibrant Ayurveda is here. Trish Kaur is here. Oh, my very good friend is here. Osir Shane is here. And hello, everyone. So let's talk about, 5 reasons why you're skinny fat. So what exactly does the term skinny fat mean? I don't mean this from a point of body shaming anybody as being skinny or fat, but it is really a term that is used to understand that you look like you're within the normal weight, right? Or you could also look slightly underweight, but you have excess amounts of body fat. And excess amounts of body fat, especially in the belly region, that's one sign of skinny fat, that you don't have big arms or legs. You look skinny, but you really have a belly, right? And this belly fat is even more dangerous because if you look at your abdominal cavity, a lot of your important organs are there. And fat is also a tissue which can create a lot of complications. Excess amounts of body fat is scientifically proven to increase your chances of getting diabetes or cholesterol issues, and also things like cancer. Body fat also can secrete certain hormones like estrogen. So if you are a woman who's going through hormonal imbalances, if you have lower progesterone or excess estrogen, signs like breast tenderness and all that, this could also be linked to the excess body fat that you're carrying, right? Again, when we talk about a family history of diabetes or cholesterol or any other metabolic conditions, where we talk about metabolic syndrome as well, the triad of obesity, diabetes, and high cholesterol. Now, you don't always have to be obese, but you could have excess amounts of body fat, and that is exactly what skinny fat is all about, right? So let's talk about a few of the causes, a few of the causes of skinny fat, and then I'll start with the science first, right? So how do you identify if you're skinny fat, right? So the first sign that you have to realize is, you are not a large person, you don't have very big hands and feet, or large hands or feet, like you are you'll weigh probably normal on the scale for your weight, or your height. um, you feel skinny, like your hands and legs are really skinny, but you're carrying a lot of belly fat, right? So that's the number one sign. This can be also understood as muffin top. So if you're wearing your pants and there's this big flab on top of your pants, that itself is a muffin top, right? So if you are skinny but you have this muffin top, you are skinny fat, right? If you're tired all the time, if you cannot carry your daily activities easily, if you get exhausted easily, even lifting a little bit of weight or are doing some kind of physical activity, if you're getting tired easily, that is also a sign you're skinny fat. Had you had a good muscle mass, you would not have been tired this easily, right? So muscle mass is something that helps you maintain your strength. In Ayurveda, we talk about, Mausadhatu gives you your bala, your strength, your stamina, your endurance. But if you don't have this endurance and you're skinny, right, probably you have more body fat than you should be having, right? So that could be one sign. You also lack this upper body strength or lower body strength. That is the third sign. The fourth one is you have a poor diet, like you're skinny, but your diet is really bad. You talk about having a heavier, higher metabolism, but you could be eating pizzas and pastas and not enough protein. You have a carb rich diet, you're eating lots of sugar. That could be a sign that you're skinny fat as well. And if you have a family history of diabetes, cholesterol, any other metabolic conditions, that also is another sign that you could be skinny fat. Now, you cannot always see a person and guess how much body fat they have. Actually, I love to play this guessing game, because I have a machine called a bioimpedance analysis machine, or the BIA machine. And I usually do body testings for my clients, every time before we get started on a healthy protocol, whether it's for increasing your muscle mass or looking at targeted fat loss. We always want to measure. So the first thing that I do is I love to measure, right? So every time I see a client, and I'll hook up some electrodes on their hands and feet and try to assess how much body fat they have, right? And just a few months ago, I had a client who looked perfectly healthy. She did have some belly fat, but she attributed it to postpartum. So she had a C-section, and sometimes it's very common to see women, who have bigger bellies after a C-section. Of course, you can tone it down. So C-section is not going to guaranteedly give you a big belly, right? That is again a misconception. But there are women, you'll see a little bit of belly fat or looser belly, um, though they're not as heavy in the body. So we talked about it and we did measure her body fat. And I was really shocked to see that she was normal on the BMI scale, right? So she was not even overweight. If you look at the body mass index, like she was not even overweight, she was normal, within the normal range. But her body fat was 40% and up, right? So she had way more body fat than I did, and I'm higher on the BMI scale, right? So this was one big sign that she has the skinny fat, and that is metabolically active, and that is going to be detrimental to your body organs as well. That is going to be detrimental to your health, and you have to be able to control it. So this is a big challenge. You don't want this happening. You don't want excess body fat, especially in the area of your organs, right? So that is something you don't want. Now, let's talk about some of the causes, right, for having this excess body fat or being skinny fat. So, the number one cause for making people skinny fat that I have seen is the crash diets. If you are always on some kind of a diet, even something like keto diet, one thing to understand is keto diet is a therapeutic diet that was created for neurological issues, especially epilepsy in children, right? People are now abusing the keto diet, using it for weight loss, and you end up losing a lot of muscle mass. For some people that have a hard time processing this excess body fat, you will tend to accumulate body fat, right? Even on the keto diet, you're having high amounts of fat in your food. You're not digesting this fat. This is going to be accumulated somewhere. So a poor diet, absolutely zero carb diet, or like having, even a keto diet which is not customized to you, or you follow somebody else and they've got results and you do the diet, that is one of the number one causes of creating the skinny fat. Sometimes people lose a lot of weight on crash diets, but they end up losing muscle mass. So if you are on a weight loss program, if you are planning to be on a weight loss program, please go to the nearest nutritionist or someone who can get your BIA run for you. So you exactly know how much muscle mass you have, you exactly know how much body fat you have before you're starting the program, right? And there is a big misconception that being skinny means being healthy. Now we will talk about that completely at on a different topic, someday, because that's a huge topic by itself. But please remember that even though you look skinny, you could have excess fat, especially if you have done any of these crazy diets or followed any of these crazy dietary trends, right? So that is something that you have to be aware of. So that is the one reason, right? The second reason is not having enough protein at each meal. Now protein, when we look at the paleo diet, or having big pieces of steak or having like excess amounts of protein, is not necessary according to me, right? Unless you're specifically training as an athlete, you're not going to require tons of protein, right? If you're working out, if you're building your muscle mass, athletes have a completely different dietary regimen, and they are going to make sure they're utilizing all the protein that they eat. At the same time, every individual that we talk about, right, should have decent amounts of protein, because it also helps keep your blood sugar stable. Your body is also going to tap into this protein for different uses, including your immunity, right? A lot of your neurotransmitters, a lot of your hormones, a lot of your immune components are made up of these tinier parts of protein known as amino acids. And if you don't have enough protein in your diet, you're not going to be stable physically or mentally or emotionally, right? Because everything works together. So having small amounts of protein at each meal is even fine, but have protein at each meal, right? And just today on Instagram, I posted one of my favorite high protein vegan recipes. It's called mung bean fritters. And mung beans are fantastic when it comes to protein. It's easier to digest. One cup has about a 14 grams of protein, and they're also powerful detox foods, right? So you can definitely try that and have protein at each meal. You're not having enough protein, you are doing a fat diet, that is one of the reasons that you are skinny fat, right? The other thing is, when I see people in exercising, they always focus on cardio, cardio, cardio. Oh, I'm going to run, I'm going to do cardio, or I'm going to go on the stepper or treadmill or whatever it is, or elliptical, but they do not talk about strength training. Now, strength training or weight training can also be free weights or your body weight, right? Something as simple as doing sun salutations or Surya Namaskar, where you're using your own body weight, right, can be used as strength training. We're not always talking about taking heavier weights and lifting, but easily a person can lift anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds of weight and go more than that, for each muscle group, right? Or for your arms, and kind of work with a trainer. That's the best thing. If you're not sure about weights, work with a trainer, work with a personal trainer who can really guide you. But weight training is extremely important, and also especially for women after menopause, because you want to maintain the integrity of your bones, you want to maintain that muscle mass as well, right? So again, skinny fat could also be caused by hormonal imbalances. That brings me to my fourth point of the causes, right? If you are having any hormonal imbalances in the body, that could also lead to a lot of fat deposition in the belly region. One of the most common hormones that we talk about is insulin, is also like a hormone, right? So insulin is your blood sugar balancing hormone. If you are having excess sugary foods, you are going to take that excess sugar and make it deposit in the body as fat, right? And that's how you get belly fat. If you have excess estrogen, that also deposits, fat in certain areas on your body. So having hormonal imbalances is the number 4 cause of being skinny fat. And number 5 cause is stress. We all talk about stress, we all talk about adrenal hormones, we all talk about cortisol, but this is extremely important to understand that if your body is in stress mode, it is going to start breaking the muscle down, so you're wasting a lot of muscle mass and your body is storing all the fat, right? So even though you're skinny, you're actually letting go of all the muscle that you actually need, and you're storing a lot more fat in your body, and this will again make you skinny fat even though you're not heavier on the scale, right? So this is my a few things about being skinny fat. If you have any questions, please post it in the comments. If you are skinny fat, please post it in the comments too, um, I'm just going to hang on for a little bit and say a quick hi. Hi, Ashwini. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it is a really good topic because people don't understand about, the whole concept of skinny fat. And sometimes if you think you look okay on the scale, you're healthy, right? But you could be far from health. Just because you don't have excess fat that's visible does not mean that you don't have excess body fat in your midsection. And this is the most important fat that you need to target, right? Having more fat on your arms is not as dangerous as having a lot of belly fat. So this is something that you have to pay attention to. This is something that you have to take into consideration. Hemant is online. Hello, Hemant. I can't pronounce some of the names. Healthy Chef to Order is online. It's her Glam Squad joined. Svitlana is here. Kimi is here as well. Isha talks about, yeah, strength training is a great point, and strength training is essential. I listen to people, when you start being active, okay, I'm going to start walking for 30 minutes. Also start stretching, even something simple as downward dog. You're using your arms and you're putting a lot of weight on your arms, so these are weight bearing exercises, even though you don't think you're using a lot of extra weights. Something like squats is a good thing. And if you can't do downward dog, or if you can't do push-ups on the ground, which is another fantastic exercise, you can start by doing push-ups on the wall, right? And Surya Namaskar or sun salutation is one exercise that is an entire body exercise. It's not just meant as an exercise, but it's you're connecting to the sun, you're connecting to the light energy, especially in the time now we are going into Makar Sankranti, right? So the direction of the sun is going to change, and now slowly the days are going to get lengthier in northern hemisphere. Today is a beautiful day. I can finally see the sun. It wasn't as bright as when I took a walk in the morning, but sun salutation is really a good way to harness that sun energy. And having that sun energy or having that heat is also going to metabolically help melt your fat, in simple words, or Ayurvedic words. So the more you sweat, the more you're going to be able to get rid of this fat. And sun salutations, you're using 12 sets of poses, and that's going to give tone your entire body, right? It's going to help you build muscle mass as well. So thank you once again for joining me live. I have the topic for, I think, next week that I'm going to announce, or maybe I'll wait for it. Yeah. So what's my topic for next week? Yeah. So next week, I think this is Jan 13th, Jan 20th. Yeah. So next week, we're going to talk about, can you be healthy at any size? So that's my topic for next Wednesday. We talk about plus sizes, and we talk about lots of love and acceptance for all sizes, 100%. But I'm going to talk about what's my take on being healthy at any size. Can you be healthy no matter whatever your size is? So that's the discussion for next Wednesday. Again, if you have any questions at any point of time, please message me or put it in the comment section. And if you want to do your BIA, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be more than happy to do it once the clinic is open. So we are in lockdown right now. I think the clinic opens on 25th. Hopefully everything goes back to normal. Stay healthy. Make sure you are taking some time for your health. And please, if you haven't decided, make this decision to make 2021 the healthiest year of your life. we are through, like we're in the midst of a pandemic. We don't know where it's going. Vaccine, no vaccine, there's so much going on, but the one thing you can control is your own health. You can control your emotions, you can control your mind and what goes into your body, and that is extremely important. So please make this a decision to make 2021 your healthiest year ever. Again, it's always a pleasure to support you, so thank you so much for being here and thanks for your feedback. Healthy Chef said, yeah, sun salutations are really amazing. And that's one thing you can do on a regular basis. Start with two and then you can move up to four and six and 12 as your strength increases, right? But that's really going to help with the skinny fat as well. And that's also going to help you build the muscle mass, right? So thank you once again for watching. I will be back next week for another Wellness Wednesday, and stay tuned. And this Saturday, we're going to talk about daily routine. So I'm going to take a quick minute. And if you go to my Facebook page, I will be live on my Facebook page. I can't do Instagram live at the same time because of the echo. I have Dr. Minakshi, who will be talking about the Ayurvedic daily routine, the importance of it, this Saturday at 11. So once again, thank you so much for joining me live, and join me this Saturday as well for another fantastic talk. Thanks and have a beautiful day.